My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen carefully to my voice. Do not rush through this moment. Do not allow distraction to steal what heaven is trying to place inside your heart right now. There is something I have been waiting to reveal to you, and the time for silence is over. You have spent too long believing that your emptiness meant you had nothing left. You have interpreted the heaviness in your chest as proof that your hope had run out. But I need you to hear me clearly today. You were never abandoned, and you were never empty. There has always been something prepared for you. There has always been provision waiting with your name written on it. There has always been an inheritance heaven was protecting for the exact moment you became ready to receive it. My child, you have been exhausting yourself searching the ground for crumbs while I have been guarding a storehouse meant specifically for you. You kept looking at what was missing instead of remembering whose child you are. You kept measuring your future through fear instead of through my promises. And because fear became louder than trust, desperation slowly convinced you that survival depended entirely on your own strength. But hear me carefully now, you were never created to carry life alone. You were never meant to be your own source. You were never meant to survive through constant striving, endless anxiety, and exhausting self-reliance. You have lived too long believing everything depended on you. Every morning your mind wakes up calculating what is lacking. Not enough money. Not enough energy. Not enough time. Not enough emotional strength. And at night, the counting continues. Fear keeps adding numbers to problems that have not even happened yet. Your thoughts race toward worst-case scenarios before the day even begins. And beneath all that anxiety lies one quiet lie, that you are alone in carrying your future. That lie has exhausted you for years. But today I am uprooting it. My beloved child, your desperation has been speaking louder than truth for too long. You looked at your circumstances and concluded there was no way forward. You called your situation impossible. You called your life delayed. You interpreted the closed doors around you as proof that nothing good remained ahead. But you were reading your story through the eyes of someone who forgot they belonged to a loving father. You are not forgotten. You are not disinherited. You are not abandoned in some empty field to survive alone. You are my child. And everything changes when you remember that truth. My child, there is a difference between wages and inheritance, and you have spent most of your life confusing the two. Wages depend on performance. Wages depend on effort. Wages stop when your strength runs out. But inheritance works differently. Inheritance flows through relationship, not performance. A child does not earn a place in the family by exhausting themselves trying to deserve love. The child belongs first. And because the child belongs, the inheritance already carries their name. That is who you are to me. Not an employee trying to earn affection. Not an outsider begging for scraps. Not someone fighting daily to deserve my care. You are family. And because you are family, there are things heaven has already prepared for you long before you were born. Peace with your name on it. Strength with your name on it. Provision with your name on it. Healing with your name on it. Restoration with your name on it. A future already carrying your identity before you even arrived here. My child, I know why this feels difficult for you to believe. You have spent years living under pressure. Years feeling like your value depended on usefulness. Years believing your worth came from how much you produced, how much you carried, how much you sacrificed for everyone else. The world trained you to live like a servant, constantly trying to prove themselves worthy of rest. But my kingdom does not operate through fear-based striving. You do not work so I will finally love you. You work because you are already loved. Love came first. Grace came first. Mercy came first. The inheritance was written before your mistakes ever existed. And my beloved child, The reason your soul feels so exhausted lately is because you have been trying to carry responsibilities that were never supposed to rest on your shoulders alone. You have been acting as your own protector, your own provider, your own rescuer, your own emotional support system. That burden has become too heavy for your spirit. That is why I brought you here today. Not to shame you, not to condemn you, but to remind you that there is still a Father standing beside you. A Father who never stopped preparing goodness for your future. A Father who never lost sight of your purpose. A Father whose love for you has not weakened even through your hardest seasons. My child, there are things in your life right now you cannot yet fully see. While you believed nothing was happening, heaven was still moving. While you interpreted silence as absence, I was filling the storehouse. While you cried over delayed answers, I was arranging timing carefully behind the scenes. Provision was still being prepared. Protection was still surrounding you. Doors were still being positioned. Breakthroughs were still developing quietly beneath the surface. You kept asking, God, where are you? And I kept whispering, I am closer than you realize. My beloved child, the inheritance I prepared for you cannot be destroyed by fear, economic hardship, betrayal, failure, or seasons of weakness. What heaven stores cannot be stolen by the enemy. The world around you constantly changes. People change. Relationships shift. Circumstances become unstable. Jobs disappear. Health fluctuates. Finances rise and fall. And because so much around you feels fragile, you develop the habit of bracing yourself emotionally for loss. But your true inheritance does not exist inside temporary systems. It exists safely inside my hands. That is why fear cannot ultimately destroy your future. Fear has no access to what I already sealed for you. Panic cannot reach what heaven has protected. The enemy cannot revoke what I already promised. My child, I know you have trusted people before and been disappointed. I know some relationships left scars deep inside your heart. You reached for love and found temporary affection instead. You leaned on people who eventually pulled away. And because those experiences hurt so deeply, part of you became afraid to trust again. But hear me gently now, people were never designed to replace me. Human love, even at its best, is limited. People can care deeply and still fail you because they are human too. But my love is not temporary. I do not run out emotionally. I do not withdraw my presence because you struggle. I do not abandon you when seasons become difficult. The love I have for you existed before your first breath and will continue long after your hardest seasons end. My child, lift your eyes again. You have spent too much time staring at lack. Too much time studying closed doors. Too much time bending over the field searching for leftovers while heaven was waiting for you to look upward again. The blessing does not rise from the ground beneath your feet. It comes from above. It comes from your Father. And your Father is already reaching toward you now. Inside your inheritance there is peace unlike anything this world can manufacture. Not temporary calm dependent on perfect circumstances. Real peace. The kind that steadies your soul even when uncertainty still exists around you. Inside your inheritance there is clarity. Your spiritual sight is beginning to return. You are about to notice how many times I protected you without you realizing it. You are about to recognize how many answers already surrounded your life while fear kept blinding your vision. Inside your inheritance there is a future nobody can cancel. People may oppose you. Circumstances may challenge you. Delays may frustrate you. But the purpose I assigned to your life still stands. And inside your inheritance there is identity. This may be the hardest gift for you to receive because shame convinced you that your worth must constantly be earned back through performance. But my child, I chose you before you ever succeeded at anything. I loved you before your victories. I called you mine before your achievements. I claimed you before your perfection. You are valuable because you belong to me, not because you performed flawlessly. So stop surviving on crumbs. Stop measuring your worth through scarcity. Stop building your identity from leftovers. You are an heir. You were always meant to live like one. My child, there will still be difficult moments ahead. I am not pretending every problem disappears overnight. But you no longer walk through those battles alone. That changes everything. The same God who rescued you before will rescue you again. The same hand that protected you in previous storms is still holding your future securely today. Look back honestly at your life. There were moments you should not have survived, yet somehow you did. There were situations that looked impossible, yet provision still arrived. There were fears that never actually came true. There were prayers answered in ways you barely noticed because you were already worrying about the next problem. I kept a record of every rescue even when you forgot them. And the God who carried you through all those moments is still carrying you now. My beloved child, your current pain is not bigger than your coming blessing. Your temporary suffering is not greater than your eternal inheritance. Fear has shouted loudly for years, but fear has repeatedly lied to you. You are still standing. Still breathing. Still loved. Still chosen. Still protected. Still part of my family. And now I am asking you to live differently. Not like someone abandoned in a field. Not like someone forgotten. Not like someone barely surviving on scraps. But like an heir who finally remembers who their father is. The desperation will try returning sometimes. Fear will attempt speaking again. But when it does, remember where you stand. You stand near an open storehouse. You stand inside my love. You stand inside promises that cannot be revoked. And what I have prepared for you cannot perish. If you believe God has been preparing something greater for your life, type I am an heir of God's promises in the comments right now. Like this video as a declaration that you are leaving the field of fear and stepping into God's inheritance. Share this message with 3 people who feel exhausted, forgotten, or spiritually empty. Subscribe and turn on notifications because the next message may be the exact breakthrough your soul has been waiting for.